Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. So before I go on, can everyone hear me? If you guys can hear me, please type yes in the comment section below. Please type yes, and also do help us to like and share today's session, as you might want your friends to not miss out on this very important session today. Okay. So today's special session is gonna be like a talk show. We're not gonna just present something to you, and it's not gonna be a chat between our colleagues or whatsoever. So tonight's topic is about building the fintech empire in Malaysia. So we believe that it will be of interest to you guys. So I'm sure you guys have heard of fintech before. So if you guys heard of fintech, type fintech in the comment section so we can know like how many of the audiences know about this topic. So let's see if there's anyone typing fintech in the comment section. Awesome, we have one here. And okay, all right. Today with me, I have Louis, our head of research, to help us with this special program. Hi, Louis. How are you doing?
Hey, hi Don. Yep.
Hi, hi, hi.
Doing doing quite okay, but the cases are scaring me right now.
Yeah,
So still work from home, so nothing
yep,
much
yep.
on my side. Yep.
Understand. Yep.
Yep.
So, and of course, more importantly today, as you can see on the screen, we have with us today Dato Chew from Mpay, the Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer. Welcome aboard, Dato Chew. How are you doing
Good
today?
evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, can. Okay.
Good.
Okay, so good. Thanks, Louis, and of course, thanks, Dr. Ju, for doing this with us. So, to the audiences, if you guys have any questions at all during the session, please type them in the comment section below. And at the end of the session, Louis will get through these questions that you guys have, so that we can get them answered. We can ask them to Dr. Chu. And so I don't delay this time anymore. And without further ado, let's begin the session. So the
Okay.
floor is yours, Louis.
Thanks Don for introducing us into this talk show, and it's a very exciting talk show because this is the second talk show that we have uh, since the most latest MCO. Because in the start of the MCO 3.0, we have one which do about something about the market outlook. But this round is a bit different. Normally, we will have a lot of these corporate briefings that present slides, but this round we will do something more refreshing because it will be a talk show type. So welcome again, Dato Chew, who is the CEO and Group Managing Director from Mpay. And I think we can start something very casual first. Dato Chew, I would love to understand that because Mpay is an end-to-end payment solution provider, right? So in this ecosystem, maybe you can enlighten our viewers on which are the areas that Mpay covers. Maybe you can give some examples of the ecosystem and where do you fit into this ecosystem at this point of time. Yep.
Okay. I think end-to-end payment solution providers is what we call quite an old phrase we put ourselves into, i.e., if we focus on payment, we roll out payment acceptance devices, as in the credit card terminals. We actually write payment software for e-commerce, for apps, okay, and even for hosts. Okay, so this is actually a business we start close to 15 years ago, or to be exact, even 20 years ago when we started e-commerce. Our e-commerce engine is actually a payment gateway. Okay, but today I think Mpay are playing the space of what we call a fintech. Okay, and I think now, of course, the next one is actually digital bank. So, but what fintech is a very broad, what we call industry. Okay, it depends on where you focus. You know, they have even robotic kind of what we call advisory kind of solutions, right? But what Mpay focus is very much digital enablement, digital economy, what we call ecosystem kind of a solution. So if you look from that angle, what we actually try to power is actually the entire digital bank kind of services, even before we got a digital bank. So what we have commonly the 4 pillars of banking services, like for example, taking deposit. Okay, so it's the deposit taking license. Then from there, you can go for the fund transfer. So this is money services. So you can actually transfer between P2P and also the company to company, right? And then from there, you move to actually lending, because once you actually open a bank account, usually you want to borrow money, right? So we speak from the bank angle, then you're looking at taking a car loan, housing loan, or business loan, right? Okay, so this is lending. Okay, then the last is, of course, if you do business, you make a lot of money, then you want to invest, so this is called investment or wealth management. So the bank, if you look at over the last 50 years, if you've gone through that period with Malaysia, you also start seeing that initially when banks started, deposit taking is actually very big things, right? People who are in the 50, 60 years old, they know that going to the bank, the mom going to the bank, it's like a very great thing. You have $1,000, you save it, become a FD. It's like the top of the whole family, So deposit taking or the saving is actually one of the pillar of the bank. Then from there on, the bank start rolling out solutions. You can transfer money to your peers, to your relative, and later on they actually come up the car loan and housing loan, right? So these are natural progression for a banks. Even we talk about the 50 years in Malaysia, the conventional bank do that way, because when you come to a new country, you have to let people to save the money first, then for them to transfer money so they know the money can be used. Then they will start to borrow money, okay, and eventually they will invest. They'll invest. So the bank will actually sell the shares and things like that. So what Mpay has been working on the last 5-6 years is actually, while waiting for the digital bank license to come about, right? We have actually started going to central bank and apply all the licenses allow us to do these 4 pillar services. So this is where Mpay is. Yeah.
Okay, so it's very interesting to understand that you even have deposit. So if that is the case, then who would be the users? End users can, anyone in the on the street can actually apply for this, and can they save money under you and get some interest? Is that how you work it out for that depositing segment?
Yeah, okay, that's a good question, because I have to answer. I have to give you 2 answers, right? First, I think what we have now is actually prepaid deposit taking license. And as a non-bank financial institutions, when we are given the rights to take deposit, right, you are not supposed to give interest.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so the money you take, you cannot do anything else except facilitating them to do fund transfer and also make payment, right? So there's no other things you can do with the money. So you cannot actually give paying interest to the people who pay take deposit. Okay, so we have the license, but unfortunately we cannot give interest.
So until the digital banking license is in, you are not allowed to pay any interest to the users, lah. Is that right?
That's correct, but like I say, we apply multiple license to increase our capabilities, right? So what we do is that we also apply to SC, Security Commissions, for a peer-to-peer, what we call SME financing license. So what it means is like today, if a bank take deposit from you, what the bank do is like based on the capital reserve, based on the leverage they can use, right? They will lend it out to businesses or individuals. So there's always the retail banking where they lend to people to buy cars and house, and they also have business banking or corporate banking. They, people who borrow in hundreds of millions to billions of dollars. But what Mpay does is, because since we do not have a bank license, we only have a non-bank financial institution license where our deposit taking is actually non-interest bearing. We go to SC to get something similar license where we are allowed to actually solicit people who wants to borrow money from us. We call them issuer. And we're also able to solicit people who have surplus of money and want to invest in the loan or in the company that we actually solicit. So this is called peer-to-peer. So we are the marketplace, we bridge the people who need money to people who got a lot of money. Yeah. So in that sense, we are also able to make people who deposit with us and get not just interest, because we pay 1% interest for those who keep the money more than 7 days with us, but we also help them to make close to from minimum 8% to 15% interest.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is a very awesome return for
Yeah.
a layman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Before we go into the P2P financing, I find that part is very important, but we will come to that later on.
Yeah.
But before we go into that, because you also mentioned a lot of ecosystems such as payment gateway for e-commerce and online payment, and the other things would be terminal, right? Terminal, like maybe pay. Can Mpay facilitate the payment of mobile wallet right now?
Yeah, of course. I think what you mentioned is payment, right? Like I said, payments is one of the 4 pillars of the banking services.
Okay.
Help people to make payment. That means if you have money, you keep money in the bank, you can use it to pay someone else. So it's actually help the payee, right? But at the same time, they will help businesses to collect money. So this is what we call payment acceptance services, right? So what you can see commonly is actually the businesses in the shopping malls, in the CBD areas, or even at hawker store. Sometimes they're already able to accept digital payment or electronic payments. So this business is actually we call it facilitating people to collect money. So in our terms, we call it acquiring business. We acquire merchants to have the ability to accept payment. So when accept payments today is a cut across, means the card payment as well as wallet payment.
Okay, good. But before we go into the next section, I want to do a poll here because it's very important to know what is the viewers out there that they're using, because I want to know how many % of people are using cashless payment and also online payment. So can we do a poll here in front of the viewers? Okay, so if you are using, viewers, if you're using the online payment, such as the e-commerce payment, maybe you can, there are 4 sections here: online payment, credit card, cashless payment, such as a mobile wallet, and even cash. So maybe we can do a poll here. Then maybe after 15 minutes or 20 minutes, then we gather the poll and see how many % of the people are using cashless mode. Because I would assume that if we are talking about fintech, it is very important that people go away from cash and go into cashless mode. Maybe Dato Chew, do you agree on this?
I don't quite get what you're trying to.
No, to go away from, because right now your Mpay is the end-to-end payment solution provider, right? So if more people are using cashless mode payment, would that benefit Mpay in a very much bigger manner in terms of the payment side?
I would say this is interesting questions because in online, even 20 years ago, we say cash is our enemy because we are in the business of electronic payment. Right? So cash is our enemies, right? But today, when you offer as a solution, so fintech is a solution. Fintech is a short form abbreviation of financial technologies. What it means is that you must empower businesses to actually collect payment. So when you offer solutions to a company, you cannot tell them that, I give you a solution that you cannot take cash, or you cannot take fund transfer from the prepaid, or you cannot take fund transfer from the saving account. So you also cannot say that I don't want to take the tender move, i.e. the cash.
Right.
So when you offer solutions, you must able to actually accept multiple acceptance. So when we roll out point of sale system, we also offer a cash drawer as the options. So if the business really don't want to accept the cash payment, then usually they're in online business, they don't in offline business. But in our business, one of the major activities still come from offline. Of course, because of COVID, the last 2 years, the sales of the e-commerce, the acceptance of the payment on the e-commerce is actually skyrocketing. But it's still only a respectable double digits team. That means in high teens. It's not really half or be beyond half. Even China so successful is only 25%, right? So this is something you have to accept the fact that offline business is still very big. You still have to go to the store to have some services done. You have to go to petrol pump to pump your petrol. So when you offer solutions as end-to-end solutions to merchants who are still operate at the offline environment, then you have to give them the solutions where your solution must be able to accept electronic payment, wallet, as well as cash. So I give you an example like the KFC, right? We power their drive-through, we power their their kiosks, right? We power their counter as well. We power their apps, right? So when you buy something, you drive through, right? You want to pay cash. We cannot come with solutions that you don't accept cash, right? So when we offer
Correct.
total solutions, the cash management is still a very important part of it.
Okay, but can we say that right now a lot of people are still paying through cash? But can we say that also there is a lot of growth for the cashless side as well? So that would also entice people to see the prospects of Mpay become bigger and greater in the future. Can we say that as well?
Yeah, of course. I think when you say go for electronic payment, right? I think electronic payment is really on the rise already. So what we see on the retails is that you buy small ticket items, right? The biggest thing you buy is probably a TV, right? So, but in actual fact, a lot of businesses is really electronically done, right? So that's for example, today when we facilitate a loan from for vendors, and then we collect money from the investor, the entire process of collecting the money to invest in the what we call invest, it is the borrowers, it's all done electronically. We don't even need to have a branch. We solicit up to now close to 7,000 investor already, and then we have done close to 200 loans. And all these are done, every single transactions are done electronically. So if you combine those big ticket items, right, actually electronic payment is really very, very high already. It's the retail side is actually the one catch the attention.
Okay, great. I saw a question coming in from our viewers and also quite in line with what I'm going to ask next. Because he mentioned this chap mentioned Mpay's competitive advantage. What is Mpay's competitive advantage in such a crowded competitive space? And I would also expand that question. And who are the competitors in this segment?
Okay, I would say that's why I tried to tell you just now from the start that end-to-end payment solution providers is the phrase that we actually put onto ourselves since 20 years ago. We don't intend to change that. But 5-6 years ago, Mpay have become a full-fledged fintech service provider. We focus on the 4 pillars of the banking services. That means we facilitate the deposit taking, facilitate money services, remittance, domestic. We are going to start our cross-border remittance, and then we do lending business, and we actually do wealth management business as well. So we, as far as the competitive advantage is concerned, we are full-fledged fintech. Okay, unlike many other partners of ours or friendly competitors, usually they are very good in 1 or 2 pillars. They can't be all, right? I think like, for example, GHL and Revenue are very good in payment. So they're only in payment services. So they're not in the lending services, neither they're in the wealth management services, neither they're in the remittance business. So all these pillar, actually, if you focus on doing one, in the very short term and mid-term, you are definitely going to make it. Because you focus on doing that pillar and then you create the volume. So Mpay, what we call disadvantage is that when we set sight on become a fintech, we really put digital bank as our ultimate goal, or the eventual what we call services that we want to be in, right? So we have to build the capabilities of having multi-discipline fintech services. Today, apart from these 4, we are doing beyond this. We are in the crypto, we are in the digital asset as well. So digital asset is something which is new, and we're also providing the security for empowering the entire transactions. Or we are multidiscipline fintech service provider. So I think our advantage is actually having all means, the day we are ready, in terms, i.e. the volume is large enough to sustain the development, R&D, and also the operation cost, then we'll fly very fast.
Okay, thank you. So right now, I think we will go into another pillar of your Mpay, which is the P2P financing. It is called the quick cash, right? So so this is I understand that also this financing is also financing a large-scale solar plant in Perak. How does this actually work? Maybe you can enlighten the viewers out there.
Okay, so I think as I mentioned, right, Quick Cash is a licensed P2P SME financing providers. The license is given by SC, Security Commissions. So what SC is trying to do is like offering a license to fintech players who actually are supposed to help what we call the underserved lending communities. So in these underserved lending communities, that includes what we call, of course, the very low end retailers. Some people who just want to borrow 10, 20, $30,000 up to, let's say, about 50,000 to, let's say, $250,000. And of course, there are large SMEs, because SME definition is actually very broad. So the large SMEs could be even doing multi-million dollar business. Okay, but unfortunately, maybe the business they're in is too advanced, or too high tech, or too high risk. It's very difficult for them to take a loan from the bank. Okay, or on the other hand, maybe this SME have too good a business. He really overgeared. The bank dare not lend them money anymore. So then there is gaps, to provide financing to the underserved business community, i.e., really the hawker store and things like that, as well as SME who do not have the right funding, not because they are not good, but because they are too good, right? So they are overgeared already. So Mpay come in to actually assess the market, and what we have decided is actually, instead of doing 1,000 SMEs to lend them 50,000 each, then you have a 50 million sales. We focus on only lending to 200 people, then each of them 500,000 to a million. That's why we actually focus on large projects, and we look at the solar projects. They meet the project size is actually 55 million. So we assess the entire suitability of the project's ability to actually repay us, and the solidness of their paymaster, which is Tenaga. So they have a power purchase agreement where the tariff is very high. They are paid 37.5 cents per kilowatt hours. So we think that is a very secure thing. So we ring-fence the entire deal. We actually lend them 38.5 million. As of today, we have already lent to them close to 18 million really. So I have another 20 million to lend them.
Right. May I know how big is the total portfolio under this P2E financing? Are you able to give us the idea? I mean, your size in terms of your P2P financing?
They before the COVID actually was growing quite fast, and but I don't know whether fortunate or unfortunate, right? I would say in our angle we are fortunate because we see the market is actually going quite soft, even 2 years ago. 2019, because I think we look at the cycle of the economy, we think Malaysia is going to be hit hard by the economic downturn. So every 10 11 year cycles. So we know 2008 is what happened 12 years ago. Then we think it will happen. So we actually slow down our pace to actually what we call lend out. So in a way, so that's why we operate about what we call 3 years already. Our loan size given out disbursed through Quick Cash platform is about 50 million, 50. You think it's good or not? I think a lot of people don't even hit half of that, right? Of course, there's 6 the new licensee. They're even worse, they couldn't hit that numbers. But for us, I think we are probably number 4 in terms of the first 6 what we call platform. But the first one is actually running very fast. The Funding Society, I would say they'll probably hit 300 plus 400 million, right? And then I think the second is fantastic. Probably they are doing about 100 to 125 million, right? And the third, I giving maybe my close partner, maybe they're doing 60, 70 million. So I'm doing 50 million. So it's not so back behind, But in a sense, you want to make a lot of money from this platform, we are not there yet. But like I explained just now, we think, even 2 years ago, we actually want to slow down, because as the P2P market operators, you have to take care of the investor money more than the borrowing, what we call borrowers' comfort, right? Because people want to do business every day. People want to do business, so they want to have a lot of money. We have to, as a P2P operators, we have to take care of the investor more than the businesses. So there's a decision we took, 2 years ago. But I think because of the COVID, and we are starting coming out again, right? That's why we have started rolling out more and more loans. So you go to our platform, you can see the solar panel is the one that we actually promote aggressively.
Right. I mean, talking about this, if what is a good amount that you are willing to, go? I mean, the first you are saying that they are having around 300 or 400 million, right? So what is a good amount that you are able to go to in next to 1 to 2 years? What is the target for you in this P2P financing?
We will hope to probably do by end of the year in total about 70, 80 million.
Okay,
We
okay,
have
great.
done 50 million, so we hope we can finish the year hitting 80 million. Of course, the goal is to try to hit 100 million. At least we join the 100 million clubs lenders. But I guess I always weight the importance of taking care of the interest of the investor rather than
That's it, yeah.
just close one eye and lend to anyone who come to our door. So we have set a more what we call conservative
Conservative
approach.
approach.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Totally understand. I think in terms of our stock market also, we will always, go on the more conservative path instead of the more
Yeah.
aggressive path. I think that is also good in terms of this market downturn. Just now you also mentioned about, Dr. Chew, just like mentioned about the underserved market. Do you see a lot of underserved market right now is coming to Mpay, to seek for, lending or borrowing? Is there a lot of people doing that?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Again, I stress again, we are multidiscipline fintech service provider. We serve a lot of underserved communities. Okay.
Yes.
We have communities who come to us to even just pay salary. Okay. So we have close to about 15,000 salary payers accounts already. I.e., they are businesses who wants to actually pay incentive, pay commissions. They use our platform to do that. We have large MLM companies who use our solutions. We have Tupperware, we have Elkins, we have New Life. These are company MLMs who wants to actually pay commissions, where the members want to actually give what we call bank accounts, right? So they use our
Right.
wallet and the card solutions to do that. Okay. We also pay. We have salary accounts, so we help a lot of companies who hire a lot of migrants to actually pay their staff salaries. That could be Malaysian as well, because quite a lot of industry. In fact, I have one very large what we call this Thai
Okay.
food operators, right? He hired about 150 to 200 workers. 50% of them are local Malaysian, 50% of them are actually Indonesian and Filipinos. They use our platform to pay salaries. So
Right.
this is where we help the underserved community, because if they go to the banks, they will probably charge higher for salary paid out, commission paid out, and things like that. They even pay, let's say, commission by rentals. We have some businesses who pay close to 10,000 kind of commissions. They have to. It will cost them $8 because of rentals, right? Or they use I think if they use the IBG, it will cost them about $3, something like that. What we
Yeah.
charge is $1. So we have underserved community or underserved businesses come to us on the payment solution alone. On the money services alone, right? Of course, on the payment side, we power many businesses to actually have the ability to actually accept money, which is actually important aspect of their business, because if they collect cash for all their businesses, no matter how small they are, end up their pocket will be a lot of cash, right? So they have to go to the bank, right? So when they go to the bank means down the productivity. So we give them the tools so they can balance it. So when they have too much cash on hand, right, they can actually start taking digital money. So these are what we call merchants that we supported. A lot of them, we already close to 18,000 merchant outlets there. Using our payment terminals. Of course, the biggest one you can see, you go to Giant, you can see the scanner is our brand. You go to KFC, Pizza
Right.
Hut, you can see Mpay brand is there. So we
Right.
have large project. We also have for SMEs.
Right. So before you go into the digital banking segment, maybe I can share out the poll that has been done online. So the online transfer, there are about 41% of the viewers using that. Mobile wallet about 28%, credit card and debit card around 26%, and 6% is on the cash. So that is the demographic here, I mean, the viewers right now that they have done the poll. So I guess most of the online payment stuff, Mpay is also under that ecosystem. So I guess you are quite well. I mean, you are a total solution provider. So I would say that everything will benefit you. So under this digital banking segment, right? I'd like to ask that, because since that Mpay is already a non-bank financial institution that provides so many different segments that you mentioned a lot about the four pillars. Maybe Dato Chew can help guide me on this. What is the benefit and what is the gist actually to raise for this digital banking license? What are the benefits for Mpay?
I would say, even though we already have the capabilities to do this business, there's also a cost of doing business, and there's also the flexibility of doing business or draw other resources to do business. So I just give two examples. So since the Mpay started as a payment, and most of the biggest fintech providers in Malaysia are payment orientated, i.e. they are revenue and GSL. These are payment orientated kind of fintech players. So in terms of payment, when you are banks, you are become the principal members of card scheme or even wallet. So when you are principal members of card scheme wallets, you actually get to actually facilitate or process the payment with the lowest cost. We call it interchange fees. So you're not processing a base, the MDR, which is actually marked up by the banks already. So when you are a bank and you get to become a principal acquirer of, let's say, PayNet and also the Visa Master or even Alipay WeChat, then you get to actually get the interchange fee as your cost. Yeah. So when you mark up, you actually have a higher margin. Today, when we work for banks as a third-party acquirers, the bank for every process, every transaction we process, right? Chances of us making 50 basis point is actually beyond the history already. When we started this 15 years ago, we can make 50 basis points. But today, you're only making 10 to 15 basis points. Okay, if you are principal, you can make 30 to 35 basis points. So that gives you the reasons. If you are a bank, your cost of doing business is actually go down by half, which means you almost double your gross profit. Okay, so this is on the payment services. On the other hand, on the lending services, right? We have two lending licenses. Right? We have a KPKT license. Conventionally, people say Along. So we have the Along license Along, but we also have the SC P2P SME financing. They allow us to actually charge up to 18% interest, which is very high. But why is it so? It's because number one, your cost of fund is higher. Because you either take your own money to lend as a loan. That's why, the people don't pay them, they turn garam, they try to actually chase people for money, right? Because that's their own money, right? That's their own money. And then second is actually, if you borrow somebody else's money, like use the platform, right? So we are not going for sophisticated investor, or we're not going to take the money from the bank where, the overnight lending rates is actually very, very low, less than 3%, right? We have to service and give our investor a nice return, right? So as of today, the lowest I have cut a deal for funder who got a lot of money, right, is about 6%. Okay, but the average is about 8%. Average is about 8%. So we are talking about a large fund, right? I mean, someone who can give me 5 million, 2 million to lend one. These are the fund I get, right? But on the other hand, if I go to public, these are people who are probably, like I said, underserved. They are uncle, auntie who retires already. They are really low income earners. Every time they invest, it's 100 ringgit, 200 ringgit, right? So we give them 8 to 12% or even 15%. So our cost of lending is high, right? Of course, why there are still people who want to borrow? Because they can't get anything from the bank, right? But if we are the digital bank, the whole things will change. Because when we open door and take deposit, and now we call it interest-bearing deposit taking license, right? I can give depositors less than 2%. Right. Even I give you 3%, the investor, the depositor will be like, happy like hell, right? Happy like hell, right? But I can lend out 7-8% multiple times, and I don't have the cost of doing business. You see, so digital bank, if we got it literally just flip our two business capabilities, payment and lending, to become overnight double, triple the margins.
Right. Well, that is a very interesting concept that you bring out. So you're saying that your costs.
It's not a concept. That is a fact. That's why we are going for the digital bank license.
Okay. So talking about this digital banking license, right? I understand that last year you have venture capital from venture fund, I think from Singapore that wanted to go in together JV with you. But what did what happened there, and what is the next plan in this digital banking race?
I think first I would like to say Mpay, unlike many other Me Too kind of followers, we plan things many years ahead, right? We plan things many years ahead. So even e-commerce, we started 20 years ago, right? We are too early, right? We spend all the money, we have a lot of funders give us money, but we are too early in the game, right? Same goes for the fintech, right? Digital bank license, we've been following up with central bank. We are central bank sort of good friend for a long time. My first license with Central Bank is actually back in 2012. So we know them pretty well. Most of the manager, I know it's already 6 to 9 years already, with Central Bank. In the sense that we know what is coming. So we know what we want to do next is actually digital bank license. So since last year, when the COVID slightly turned to stabilize, in the mid-year, and we know this policy is going to materialize very soon, and they're going to start calling for the bidders. So I have to engage with funder. So Singapore was the nearest and a lot of fun. All the foreign funds are there, so that is quite natural. So easily, I have many friends there, so they are friends who actually want to help me to raise funds, right? Unfortunately, first we already engaged with Central Bank even since last year. Mid last year, we already engaged with Central Bank. Central Bank already approved my partners to be actually one of my so-called major shareholders, and it is really approved, right? So unfortunately, when the COVID didn't improve, and I do a few virtual conference to actually pitch to investor. I think I'm not that great in speaking. It's not easy for people to park money when you actually just do this. I literally, you need to fly down. I need to fly down. I have a friend, I don't want to quote name, but they also submit a bid, right? He flew to Singapore and stayed there for 14 days quarantine and come out, 4 days, and then come back 14 days quarantine. I think not many people can do that. So I have to give up my pitch to the foreign fund, right? And I have to pitch to local. So I have to switch camp to start pitching to local. Yeah, last minute. Last year is where I have to switch camp.
Totally understand that because I think during COVID, a lot of people are using Zoom and people are trying to get used to all this, online webinar. But pitching an investment scheme through, not face to face is really tough. I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but what is the next action right now? So, last year you didn't manage to get the Singapore fund. So, right now, are you going solo in terms of getting this digital banking license?
In a way, we are going solo. We are not forming consortium actually. So if you look at our proposal, we are going solo. Okay, Mpay own 100% of the license that we bid. Of course, in the event we got it, it's 100%. But what we did is we actually proposed 3 Boomi partners to be our strategic partners, and they are all important partners of ours. They come very important in certain areas. One is actually Trustgate Berhad, where we actually use their entire cybersecurity platform, the microservice platform, to actually control and make sure that every single transaction in and out are totally secure from the user login, to have the what we call PKI standard kind of signing, right, to sign on. And then multi-factor authentications to authenticate the transactions. And for application for loan, applying for car loan, housing loan, there's a digital signature there, right? So that is really the backbone for digital bank. So that is our partners. Second partners of ours is actually Dato Wira Azizan. He's the motivator. He's the mentor to many what we call underserved business communities. He actually have a huge follower in terms of entrepreneurs who want to learn how to do business. So he give training, he give coaching, and he partnered us to actually help to roll out our ecosystem. So the 4 pillars of business we're talking about, we're going to add a few more, right? In fact, I think I saw you post me a question on crypto. One of them is actually crypto digital assets, so I'll explain it later. So the Dato Wira team, his trainers, now working closely with us. even before we got the digital bank license, we already going to roll out solution to their platform. So Dato Vira come in or Richworks come in as a strong deploy partners of ours, being a trainer, being what we call mentor to all the underserved communities. Okay, and the third partners we have is actually Crescent Capital. So the owner is actually very what we call well connected in business networking. Okay, and the most important thing is actually he owns a security firm before, and then he also worked aggressively in the payment this money market business. So he's the one who's going to connect us and hopefully help us to actually get the what we call the crypto operating license. Yeah? He also partners in the crypto bid will be bid to the SC. So three of them come in not as a sleeping partner, not as a partner who just put in money, but really as a partner who come in a very important aspect of this digital bank business.
Okay, I guess it's like a Avengers team assembled and really going full
exactly.
force into hitting
Yeah.
this thing right.
Yeah.
Also, I noticed that Dr. Azizan is also buying up more shares, right? Recently through this private placement.
Yeah.
Is that correct? 45 million shares, if I'm not mistaken. So I guess he is very, very confident in this project, and I guess that should give confidence to our investors as well.
Yeah. I think what you see is actually the surface, because Mpay is what we call a public listed company. So whatever actions in the Mpay level, right? Of course, you see where the money is. But actually, like I said, we are partnering them as a JV partner in our bid. Today, we put 100%, but they will take up 45%, right? So this 45% is a lot of money. So there's another money that you don't see. So this is the money they're going to put it in, right? So in a way, I think it's a confidence they have in us. Why they feel we are so what we call strong of getting this license, because of course I said we are the full-fledged fintech players, but more importantly is they see the value themselves, to the extent that even though originally the bid is for them to be at the silence what we call partners until we got the license, only they're supposed to come in, means that they don't want to spend money. They just pitch to the central bank that this is the money they want to spend, right?
Mm-hmm.
To give me the money, right? They want to join even more, right? They go to the public and take more.
Mm-hmm.
That is actually what you see. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, so under this guideline, digital bank must maintain at least 3 to 5 billion assets for the first 3 to 5 years. How are you going to take this? How are you going to build this asset from the current position, or you already have the 3 to 5 billion assets as of this juncture?
No. Asset here is actually your loan portfolio, your customer. So asset means if I give 1 million loan to, let's say,
Right.
100 businesses, SMEs, then there's 100 million loan. So this 100 million loan is my asset. Though it's owing, right? But it's where it generates income for me. So it's the asset. So if I, let's say, lend to, let's say, 100,000 people to actually buy $20,000 or $50,000 car, that's another 50 million. Right, loan into my asset. So as a digital bank, you are confined to only do no more than 3 billion loan, right, or any other portfolio. Even investment is a asset, right? So you have to limit to no more than 3 billion asset.
Okay, so just now you also mentioned about the wealth segment, wealth pillar, wealth services pillar. So because I don't see a lot of information on that that part, maybe can you explain to the viewers on that wealth services that you are providing?
Okay, so I think you have to look at today. If you go to the bank, what do you think the bank make money from you? I think you talk about payment a lot, so you think the bank is going to charge you a fee, for every time you use the card to pay, right? But that is chicken feed business as far as the bank concerned. It's really nothing. It's something they can just write off. They offer free, things like that. Payment is the smallest money to be earned from the bank, Okay,
Mhm.
the biggest earner for the bank, of course, nonethelessly is the lending interest. When they lend people money, there's the interest, right?
Mhm.
So the second one the bank make most is actually either wealth management or insurance, bank assurance.
Right.
So the bank assurance and also the wealth management, most of them are not bank's product. They are
Okay.
working with another business,
So
another
sort of
bank.
investment link provider, something like that.
Yeah, so usually they work with investment banking, right? They sell shares, they sell unit trusts. So
Mhm.
that's the second part of the bank. So wealth management is when you have a lot of money, they help you to actually invest in unit trust and things like that. Their fees is very high, right? When they give you a loan, they offer insurance to you. You take loan from them, buy your house. The insurance that you have to pay, you have to buy from them. So they make a lot of money. So this is actually second line items, right? Second strong revenue, right? So the third revenue is fee based. Fee
Okay.
based as in like every time you facilitate, like you do a rentas, you do IBG, you charge few dollars. Can you imagine how many transactions they do in a month? Then you just
Correct.
time the $3 to $5. So there's a lot of money they do. So the bank are making money from these three pillars: the interest that they lend to people, the wealth management or the bank assurance. Both are about the same because you buy insurance basically is a safe for the future, right? So this is also the second pillar. Then the third is actually the fee-based income. So payment
Okay.
is never appear in the single line of the bank business at all. Never. Yeah.
Correct. Okay, understood. There is a question coming in from
Mm.
viewer talking about so what kind of earnings can be expected in 2021 and 2022. So I'm also interested in why there is a turnaround in the first quarter of 21. Maybe you can give some light to the viewers right now. Yeah, Dato.
Okay. I'm not sure if I can share the earning. I think when we even report our quarter reports, right, we are refrained from telling what to the investor what we can do the next quarter, let alone the 2021-22. But what we can
Okay.
explain is actually a lot of people see, well, how come Mpay lost a lot of money in 2020? Is it because COVID really hit us hard and things like that? Actually, if you read carefully, and we reported in the annual reports and also the quarter reports, right, we are taking a conservative approach of writing off all the loan, right? All the loans, all the doubtful businesses that we think the customer cannot pay, right? As well as the biggest numbers that we written off is actually our assets. First is the technology.
Mhm.
Second is the hardware,
Mm.
where we feel like the returns are not able to even cover the depreciation cost and the amortization cost, right? So we might as well just write them off. So the numbers actually we written off for these three categories are actually close to 30 million.
Correct.
Close to 30 million. So when we do such a stringent what to call policies to write off our doubtful debts and things like that, of course the first queue, many goods returns come back means, oh, okay, I can pay you, so with that's the recovery of the debts that we actually written off. So
But
that's a straightforward answer. It is written in our Q1 numbers that
correct.
actually what we have taken strong measures to written off. We have actually close to 3 million come back here.
Okay, so since that you are already written off most of the things in
Mm.
fourth quarter 2020,
Yeah.
then can we also expect like more write backs in 2021 moving forward, and that would also contribute to higher earnings? Will that work that way?
I will hope that way. Didn't know that the COVID hit so hard.
Yeah.
When we
Okay.
do that approach, we really think the COVID will go by end of the year. That's why we also what to call engage a Singapore fund, and even until the September October, I still work very hard on Zoom, to try to lobby for money, right? But unfortunately, it really hit us hard. Literally, I don't have people go out to the market, to try to do sales. So
Mm,
it's a prolonged period of tussle, with this COVID, which for us to stay afloat, to have the cash, and to go after the businesses or the capabilities that we want, is still maintain. It is still become the most important things we have to do now. The good thing is where our customers are recurring customers, and then our customers are large customers. So I can give you a list, right? For example, Giant, Guardians, daily, what to call Mercato, Cold Storage,
These are
KFC,
essential.
Pizza Hut. These are large customers. Even though their business go down, their offline business go down, they're still paying us for service fee. So we are lucky in that sense. So if you see, people are paying us service fee close to 12 million last year, and maybe about same amount or probably more this year, we should be happy like hell, because seriously their business actually have gone down. The only business that they're growing is actually on the online side, but they're still paying all these services because they're large customers, right? So Mpay, if you see from that angle, we are very lucky to maintain the income. We've lost very little income in that sense, number one. Number two, our people are able to focus on building additional capabilities. Submitting the digital bank license, the proposal is a huge resources have to put it in one, right? Big companies spend 10 million to actually prepare the proposal. Mpay don't spend 10 million, but we probably spend $500,000. But a lot of money is actually on the productivity of the staff, because we have to pull people to actually do that proposal, right? So these are actually money spent for the future. And then third is actually we're going after two licenses. One is actually the cross-border remittance licenses. We already finished a proposal. We're going to submit hopefully by next week. Okay, and the third one, in fact, is actually the crypto license that we actually applied to SCs early this year. All this is actually our big effort for the last 1 year.
Okay, great. So I guess so for this year, because COVID is still quite serious, will that be also another concern for investors, that there will be also another write down or write off in the next few quarters?
No, in fact, no. We have really do a kitchen sink last year, I can say that.
Okay.
Right? But the more important thing is, I think, as far as the lending is concerned, right? We took a very strong mitigation measure even 2 years ago, 2019, and 2019 we already took that step. So the COVID come in, it was like I say, fortunate, we are out of the wood in that sense. We don't lend money, especially our own money, to company who are doubtful. We actually lend 7 million, and they are all fantastic. I have zero NPL on our direct lending. 4 million is already paid back. We have another 3 million actually still at the customer side. Our what we call quick cash side, 50 million we lent out. Our NPL is less than 2%. So we are very happy in that sense. So I would say, because of the strong measure we have taken, right, we do not face that problem this year, right? And the whole focus is actually building new businesses, because we have the ecosystem. We are actually closing a few mega projects very soon, and these are projects that will build the base for us for the digital bank to succeed.
Right. Okay. So there is also one viewer that asks about other than recovery, what would be the key drivers for earnings growth going forward? I guess you have just answered this question, right? Other than
the key drivers are, I think, as I mentioned just now, right? We are full-fledged fintech, so it's multi-discipline earning.
Yep.
So we are going to make money from deposit taking. We're earning money from remittance. We're going to earn money from lending. We're going to earn money from remittance. Then, of course, we are going to make money from our conventional payment business. So we have 5 to 6 revenue stream.
Okay, great. So I guess that will be the part whereby we talk about your, the digital banking. Right now, I think it's getting more interesting. Maybe we will go into the crypto side, because since that you are already engaging the path, going to digital banking license. Is there any potential, I mean, since that you have, gathered some of your Avengers team towards this cryptocurrency world, what is the prospects in Malaysia? Because we are not, we haven't seen a lot of payment through cryptocurrency yet. But what are your thoughts in this, cryptocurrency world?
Okay, I think maybe if I can ask separate questions. You see the cryptography world, i.e. the blockchain world, as only in cryptocurrency, and the usage of the cryptocurrency is about processing payment like Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is actually a cryptocurrency. Yeah?
Right.
You see that way, the crypto world or blockchain world is only cryptocurrency, or you actually see the asset-backed token is another separate industry?
I think to me, I think both are different industry lah, right?
It's totally different.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe you can.
In the business terms, right? We call it utility-based and security-based. Okay.
Okay.
So utility-based is actually coins or cryptocurrency, the currency that created really function like a cash, right? And people hope that this value will increase just like US dollar against the RM, things like that. And then they speculate until it becomes a security, right? So that's where the Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is created as a utility coin. It's supposed to be actually making payment on, right? You go and read the book, by this Satoshi whatsoever. It's really become a digital cash, right? It's a digital cash, but it end up now become a digital gold, right? Because it becomes a security, right? So Malaysia is not really in digital currency, even though the authority who govern the issuing of the cryptocurrency or cryptography products, right? They name it as digital asset. So the keyword is digital assets. Okay. Digital asset. And this digital asset, you can do either currency or asset-backed token. These two.
Okay.
They allow you to do it. Okay. So literally, you can come up with digital currency, but unfortunately, it's not meant for payment. It's not meant for payment. Okay. It's really meant for someone to use it in his own community, in his own ecosystem.
Okay.
It's like Pakistan have a Pakistan voucher. So Pakistan voucher is the currency to use in the Pakistan network.
Correct.
So that is what the definition by SC, the digital currency is. Okay. What Mpay focus is a digital asset for asset-backed token. So what we see is it's totally a security token, security-based digital asset. Means we are talking about fundraising and looking for investor to actually invest in that fund, which is buying asset or building asset. So this asset could be businesses. This asset could be asset, physical asset, right?
Maybe like property.
For example, it could be solar power farm. Power farm. It could be any RE. It could be hydro dams. It could be even the wind tunnel if you want to do it. Okay, and then it could be more what we call closer to us, a property, a building, right? Shopping malls, right? Where whatever produced by this asset, physical asset, right, are able to produce something that you can actually give a returns to the investor. So if you want to see a very easy way, is like you look at it as like REIT. So REIT is what we call operators who collect a lot of these properties, which give you a basic rental incomes, right, and the management incomes. So if you're an investor of the REIT, you know you're going to get that returns, right? So for the SC, they are looking at, if you want to go again cryptocurrency, you can. They call it digital currency, right? But we are focusing on the digital asset, the security part of it, the asset-backed token part of it. So we are looking at fundraising for businesses. So Mpay are promoting this not just to SC to be the best operator ourselves, but we also propose to the digital bank, to central bank, to actually encourage the underserved communities, whether it's businesses, right, or what we call retailers, to invest in this kind of digital asset. So it's better than shares, right? Because if you invest in share, the company can go bust. Right? People think Mpay will go bust already, right? So they run away with a lot of they don't know what's the future of Mpay, right? So people run away. Yeah. Or someone sell it, well, they all run away, right? But if this is a building, you can see it, right? So if I take $100 million worth of building with all the infrastructure and things like that, with all the facility, right? I chop into 100 million coins.
Correct. Okay.
Or maybe I chop into 10 cents per coin, or 1 billion coins.
Okay.
1 billion coins. Then I can facilitate to sell to one investor to buy 1,000 coins at 10 cents each, 100 ringgit. Then I can easily raise fund for someone to build a mall or to build a solar farm, and whatever electricity they generate, he pay back. You give me $100, I give you, let's say, 2%, 3% returns a year.
To the investors that the smaller investors lah. Okay.
Yes. So these are what the IEO is all about. These are what the IEO is all about. Yeah.
Okay, this is a very interesting thing. I think. I mean, any one of the public listed company is doing this besides Mpay?
I heard what to call Kenaga is backing someone to actually bid for it. Kenaga, yeah. And I heard there's one what to call Bursa C-level kind of people is actually setting up companies to bid for it.
Okay.
And I would say any security firms who are far-sighted enough or know this blockchain enough or know whom to invest enough, they're probably going to be someone to do this, to be the first mover in Malaysia. I do not know how many submitted. When I submit for the P2P SME financing, right? We thought, not many people know. But when it comes to actual submission, I think it's close to 50, 60 submission. It's crazy. It's more than double the digital bank. So again, this IEO, I would presume maybe none of you guys know about this tender. In fact, tender was closing on 15th of February, just during the Chinese New Year time, right?
Okay.
So we are cursing, why they do that, right? But I don't know how many people submit. But we assume not many people know about this. We assume maybe less than 10 will actually submitted. But I won't know. The P2P financing, I thought, is nobody will know, but there's actually 50, 60 submission. So I'm not sure. Maybe there's 20 people submit, I don't know. But if it's less than 10, I think we'll be very happy.
Yep. I understand that the digital banking license has 29 bidders and the results will be coming out in first quarter next year. Is that right?
Yeah.
So we hope for the best for Mpay. And how about the IEO? You said that you also submitted the application. Do you know when is when?
IEO closing date is 15th of February this year.
Yeah. Okay. So when will be the results?
If you look at the norm, right, of how SC do it, usually on the October, November, they'll announce the award in their SC to SC event. There's a SC to SC event? SC to SC. Okay, so this is a digital asset event.
Okay.
So last year, because of COVID, they do it virtually. This year, I believe they'll do it virtually as well. But the previous 3-4 years, they all do it in their compound, in the SC compound. This year, I presume if there's no difference, right, or everything go according to the schedules, I think they'll probably name the winners by October, around that time frame, or November.
So for this digital asset thing, do you have any assets in mind already? You have already secured some of the assets that you are going to do fundraising for them?
Well, we will call asset, we call it projects, right? Actually, this is like an IPO. IEO is actually ICO. So it's the initial coins offering, right?
Okay.
But, instead of they do it themselves, which is they call ICO, you done by a operator, market operator. So it's called IEO, right? So when we are IEO, we are like a Bursa. So we actually onboard people who wants to lease. So it's a multiple ICO in our marketplace. So it's like IPO in the Bursa. So there will be a lot of people who wants to do it because the assessment is probably the easiest and lowest, and the flexibility of doing it, the guideline is only less than 100 pages, right? Compared to the IPO, right? The process, if IPO is this long, ICO is probably this long.
Okay.
So it's going to be able to easily raise fund. And the SC put a ceiling, which is quite beautiful, I would say, 100 million.
Right. Okay.
100 million for a company don't even do anything also can be worth 100 million. so it's very much like a venture fund kind of spirit, okay? But of course, you need people like us to jaga the investor. So I think we can portray a very good image to SC that we are someone who really know how to take care of the investors' money. So
Yeah,
we hope from that angle we can score points.
Yeah. I think this is a very new venture for investors in Malaysia, because most of the investors will only know how to trade the stock markets and futures. But I think this is a new way to invest in the future. So in terms of IEO, right? They are also able to trade the coins, right? Is that right? The digital currency.
Yes. There will be an IPO market. That means initial public offering. So this is initial coins offering or initial
Correct.
exchange offering. So it's the first time we call it primary market. Okay.
Correct.
So once you sell already, people want to trade at a secondary, right? Then you must operate a DAX. We call it digital asset exchange. So if I don't sell out DAX, it's okay one. I will just ask Luno to sell. I can ask Tokenize to sell. If you got the license, yeah. If you got a license.
Okay.
So when we actually help people to come up with coins, because this is blockchain, so I can even put overseas. So I can also allow wallet to transfer. So I sell shares to you. I don't have to go to Bursa. Someone actually get the tax and all of it, right? So that's why the new technology. This is actually very easy to transfer the ownership, right? So you can actually create the coins and get the coin listed on the DAX in Malaysia. And if Malaysia become very famous, you can list these coins outside Malaysia. So it's how flexible is it?
Yep. It's like Top Glove listing in Singapore, something like that. Okay, great. I guess I've asked pretty much of my set of questions. Let me check whether is there any questions from online viewers. I guess that's about it. Yeah. Maybe Dato Chew, you want to share some last summary conclusion about Mpay and what can we expect in the next few quarters or even few years? What is your aspire to be?
I would say in immediate terms, Mpay have actually solidified the footing to be a multidisciplinary fintech providers. The time will come where the transactions that we process, the loan that we actually give out, and the investment that we facilitate, right? And also even the money that we have to remit will hit the volume that will actually what to call more than our operating costs. Then we'll make money very soon. So I would say, it depends on this, how fast we achieve the critical mass. That's where we will actually make money, right? And because of the COVID, of course, this thing has get delayed. But on the other hand, we got to actually focus on building additional capabilities. So in the midterm, I'm sure the other two licenses that we are hoping, like for example the cross-border remittance, we should be able to get it. Cross-border remittance give you a highest fee base per transactions. Every foreigners remit money out from Malaysia, you make $4 to $5. So it's the highest fee-based income that you can ever have. So we can get that license. Even if we fail again, we can submit again quickly this year. And IEO is a super important. To me, I put it same level as the digital bank. Okay, so if we are very lucky to get it, right? So I think this will really serve the Mpay very well in the next 2 to 3 years time. So these new three capabilities, i.e. including digital bank, okay, it is going to more than strengthen our current position, which I really say is really solidified.
Yeah.
So this is what I can tell the investor. In fact, when I pitch to people who really are very, very powerful in Malaysia. Okay, they will probably just buy Mpay shares. Yeah, I'm not trying to promote. I'm not trying to create the things. I'm just trying to give you a hint. Today, when I'm talking to you now, and hopefully to your investor, I'm talking to people who are more powerful now.
Correct. Got it. In my view, I think Mpay has a lot of prospects out in the future. I think based on your current multi pillars of business, business segment, I think it's already considered as a bank. But you say that when digital banking license comes in, your cost will be even lower, and that would improve earnings. So from research perspective, that is a very good sign of improvement in earnings or growing earnings. And if, for instance, your IEO and also all these other licenses are coming in, I think that should propel your earnings even much higher.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess today we have learned a lot about Mpay, and thank you very much, Dato Chew, for being in our August special talk session. And I think it's a very wonderful session this round. And I don't think that there is any questions from the viewers anymore. I think you have explained very well in terms of your digital banking and also the IEO or blockchain or cryptos related questions. So I guess that would be come to an end for this session. I'll pass back to Don for this session. Thank you.
Hi, okay, thank you so much, and thank you, Dato Chew, for the very insightful session. I think the viewers have learned a lot, and I've learned a lot about this Mpay in this digital landscape. And yeah, this marks the end of our session, and I wish you all the best with the digital licensing. And there was also some audiences in the comments that wish you good luck to get this license.
Okay. Thank
So,
you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, no
Okay,
problem. Thanks, Louis, as well, for moderating this session. And most importantly, thank you to the audiences for joining us. And we'll see you again next time. Thank you. Good evening.
Bye bye.
Okay. Bye bye.